My name is Ebony Zimmerman, and the night everything finally snapped happened to be my 36th birthday. Our mansion in Buckhead was overflowing with about 40 guests, crystal flutes, soft jazz drifting through the air, the usual display my parents liked when pretending we were the picture of refinement. Dessert had barely landed on the tables when my father rose, already swaying from the wine. Without warning, and loud enough for the whole room to hear, he called out, "You're not even half the woman your 16-year-old sister is." My mother didn't miss a beat. She lifted her glass, eyes glinting, and added, "Honestly, Ebony, be thankful we let you stay here at all." Serenity, legs crossed elegantly on the velvet sofa, held up her brand-new Rolex and laughed.
Exactly.
Some of us actually deserve this lifestyle. A hush smothered the room. 40 people stared at me, waiting for an explosion. But I didn't cry. I didn't yell. I simply slid my chair back, the legs scraping sharply across the marble, and smiled. "Then let her pay your salary," I said, locking eyes with my father. "Because as of tonight, you're fired." His glass froze halfway to his mouth. My mother actually gaped. Serenity blinked like someone had slapped her. The perfect silence might as well have been a round of applause. If you've ever been treated like the disposable older model while your family worships the newer, shinier version, you know exactly what that moment felt like. But to understand how I got there, you need to know everything that led up to it. When I was 18, my father summoned me to his study. He pushed an envelope toward me, without looking up from his laptop. Inside was my full-ride scholarship offer from Emory, the one I'd fought tooth and nail for. "We're keeping the money," he said casually. "Your mother and I may have another child. That one will probably need it more." I didn't fight. I walked out, applied for loans, and built my own future. 4 years later, after graduating top of my real estate finance class, I came home with a business plan in hand. I asked my parents to co-sign, so I could form Zimmerman Realty Group under my name. My mother burst into laughter. My father smirked and said, "Sweetheart, this is a legacy business. Daughters don't run legacies. When we have a son or someone worthy, maybe then." So I packed 2 suitcases, my debt and my pride, and took a train to Atlanta. I rented a glorified closet in Midtown and started the company anyway. I cold called until my voice vanished. I flipped my first strip mall lease before turning 24. I never asked them for help again. 10 years later, Zimmerman Realty Group managed more than 230 commercial properties across the Southeast with a market value north of $180 million. The board begged me to take the chairman role. But my father still sat in meetings with chairman, in front of his name, signing off on every major decision as though he'd built a single brick of the empire. I played along, smiled in meetings, signed where I had to, and moved new assets into entities he didn't know existed. Then, 14 months ago, I visited his office with a bottle of his favorite Macallan and a packet of documents. "You've talked about retiring for years," I told him. "Let's make it official." The offer was generous. Chairman Emeritus, $750,000 a year, full medical, his corner office untouched. He didn't read past the salary page before signing. My mother nearly cried from joy. I felt nothing. There was one reason for that contract. My attorney, Garrett Stone. He'd been with me for my very first lease. He knew every structure, every shell, every detail I'd created to protect my company. One night he called me, voice low. "Ebony, your father emailed me from his company address. He wants a new irrevocable trust drafted. All holdings transferred to Serenity when she turns 18. You aren't included at all." I switched on my lamp, opened the forwarded email, and read the instructions. They were blunt. Cut me out entirely. Make it irreversible. Quickly. "Does he realize you represent me first?" I asked. "He thinks money can buy loyalty," Garrett replied. "He offered $50,000 if I finish it in 2 weeks. I stared at the ceiling. "Tell him yes," I said. "Every billable minute goes to the company account. And Garrett, starting now, you work for me alone. Double the retainer if needed. I want a mirror plan he'll never see coming." He exhaled. "Understood." I created an encrypted folder titled Endgame and didn't sleep that night. By morning, I'd mapped every vulnerability, still tied to my father's name. I called an emergency board meeting without my parents and was unanimously voted sole managing member of the parent LLC. Then I formed the Ebony Zimmerman Irrevocable Trust in Delaware with Garrett and 2 neutral trustees. From that day forward, every new lease, refinance, and acquisition went into the trust. Old assets remained untouched for camouflage. I let my parents keep their illusion. They still had the credit cards, the country club membership, the season tickets. Every swipe flowed into a shadow ledger only my forensic accountant and I saw. Meanwhile, Serenity flaunted private jets and luxury trips she assumed were gifts. Each charge landed in the forensic report. More than $4 million of personal spending disguised as corporate expenses. I approved every request. Every condo deposit. Every flight. Every business school tour. All carefully documented. Garrett fed my father fake drafts of his fantasy trust. Each revision more airtight. Each one ensuring he felt powerful and in control. He responded with enthusiastic notes. By month 8, the real trust, mine, owned 92% of the operating entities. My father was still clueless. Then I submitted an anonymous IRS whistleblower package containing 2 years of evidence. The acknowledgement arrived 9 days later. The investigation had begun. And that's when I booked the ballroom for my birthday. Same place where Dad celebrated turning 60. Same catering. Same music. Same elegance. Except this time, the celebration wasn't about him. I had Garrett install a concealed projector inside what looked like a chandelier. Every guest received assigned seating. Every slide was rehearsed. Every document verified 3 times. 3 days before the event, I handed Mrs. Blanca Aguirre, our housekeeper of 23 years, her invitation and asked her quietly to sit near the front. She nodded. She already knew more than my family ever had. The first slide burst onto the massive screen. Zimmerman Realty Group. Employee termination notice. Clyde Zimmerman. Effective immediately, ****. Gasps. Phones rose like a sea of glowing rectangles. Slide after slide followed. His employment agreement. The board resolution removing his voting rights. The organizational chart with my name at the top. 48 months of financial evidence. Lavish trips. Condo purchases. Fake business expenses. Millions misappropriated. Then the IRS acknowledgement letter. My father tried to charge the stage, but the off-duty officers I hired blocked him. My mother went pale. Serenity collapsed into hysterics. The final slide showed the new amended company name. The night of the party, the ballroom glittered. My father had already downed 3 bourbons. My mother floated around like royalty. Serenity was in the center of her crowd, proudly showing off photos of her condo, her business class tickets, her upcoming luxury tours, all funded by company money. My father slung his arm around her and announced loudly, "Some kids deserve the world just for being born. Others," he looked straight at me, raising his glass, "others just take up space." The room stilled. My mother chimed in, "You should be grateful we still support you, Ebony." Serenity tossed her hair. "Some of us don't need to beg for scraps." 40 faces turned toward me. Mrs. Aguirre met my gaze and gave the smallest nod. I set down my champagne flute. "Then let her pay your salary," I said calmly. "Because, Dad, you're fired." Before he could react, the lights dimmed. The chandelier lifted silently into the ceiling, revealing the hidden projector. Garrett stepped forward, remote in hand.